Hey, what's up guys? It's Ryan here, and I'm here today to talk to you about what happened with Terra Luna and UST and why it brought down the entire crypto market and what that means for the future of crypto, if that's really in doubt as some people believe it is. Before I get into all that, I do want to touch on one thing. Some of you are probably watching this video like, who is this guy? I kind of recognize him. I feel like I've seen his video before, but I haven't seen him in a while. So I was making pretty regular videos. I took a little break. If you'll recall, my last video, while it ended up being ultimately very apt and very correct about strong block, was not a very positive video, and I received a lot of feedback on that. It's hard making videos that aren't all hope and flowers. If you'll recall, the subject of that video was I discovered something in the strong block rewards pool that people had been overlooking, and showed why kind of mathematically we were in for some serious trouble with the strong block rewards pool. Most people, they just want to hear good news about crypto, so that didn't go over very well. Then about 2 weeks later, as the price declined a lot, you started seeing more people talk about that. The big crypto channels started talking about this strong block rewards pool, and I don't know if they saw my video and that made them look into it. You know, that video only had like 10,000 views. I'm not getting a ton of reach out there or anything, or if they just stumbled across it themselves eventually. But those videos were more explanations of why strong block's price had collapsed afterwards, whereas my video was more precautionary. I tried to get out in front of it. So I said before, if you've watched any of my videos, I'm not here to just pump. I'm not here to just dump. I try to give you guys insight on projects that I like, that I really believe in, give you good news when it's there, bad news when it's there, so you can make a really educated decision. If you're looking for a channel where someone's just gonna tell you, hey, I aped into this project early, I made a ton of money, why don't you guys come buy it at the top now and pump my bags a little more, and then ultimately you end up getting wrecked on it. If you're looking for that, you're not going to find it here. If I get into a project early, I will typically, hopefully, have shared it with you before I get in, not after I've made a bunch of money and it's too late for you. Then the other reason is just, like I said, I'm actually researching into these projects. I'm not just throwing a stick against the wall and hoping it hits. Anyways, with that said, let's dive into Terra Luna, UST, and what the heck happened here. First thing you need to know for all this is what UST is and how it works. And you've probably heard a lot of these terms before. I'm going to try to actually explain it, make sure you understand it. So UST is an algorithmically pegged stablecoin. Unlike other stablecoins like USDC, it is not backed by actual assets or collateral. It's all algorithmic. So the way it works in theory is the price to swap between Luna and UST will always assume that the price of UST is $1. So if it ever falls below $1, that creates an arbitrage opportunity where you can essentially get some free Luna to swap. So lots of big fancy words there. I wasn't just hoping you would take my word for it and then let it go. So real world example, I'm going to do an extreme example just to make the numbers work easier. Let's say Luna is worth $100 per token, Terra Luna's token. UST, $1, where we want it. So now if you want to buy one Luna, it's going to cost you $100 or 100 USDC or 100 USDT. It's all the same. You get one Luna for 100 of them. Let's say that in what we thought was a crazy scenario prior to this week, USDT drops all the way to 50 cents, which it now of course has. But in theory, then now you could buy 2 Luna for 100 USDT, because the swap pair between Luna and USDT assumes that each USDT is worth, each UST, I don't know how many times I've said USDT in the past, I'm not going to go back and re-record it. Assume I was saying UST every time. If you want to spend $100 on Luna, you can spend 100 USDC, you get 1 Luna, or you can swap that 100 USDC for 200 UST, because it's worth 50 cents each, and now you can trade those 200 UST for 2 Luna at $100 each. So that creates an arbitrage opportunity, that creates buying pressure on UST. Anytime it drops below its peg, somebody's going to swoop up that arbitrage. And in practice, the plan was for it never to be 50 cents, but maybe a penny or less. And while it may not be worth it to you to swap 100 USDC to 101 UST and get 100.1 Luna out of it, some of these people doing it on a huge scale, buying, spending millions of dollars, that arbitrage is worth it. So that keeps UST pegged at $1. So now that you know how it works, the question is, why didn't it work that way this week? So to look at that, we've got to consider the market overall as a whole. Risk on assets have been struggling lately. And the price of Luna has started to fall lately, which has created some doubt in that arbitrage, right? People are thinking, why arbitrage for a little extra Luna if Luna is on its way down quickly, and then that arbitrage, I don't really even have a chance to cash out on it. So we started seeing UST slip under $1 here and there, and that happens with stablecoins. You go watch the USDT or DAI, any of those, you'll see them slip under there at times. So not too huge concerns there. But then we had the Fed interest rate raise on Monday, and the whole market, the stocks, crypto, all of it reacted extremely poorly to that. So then Luna started falling faster and the peg started falling lower. And now you've got people who have all this money in UST via Anchor Savings, where they're earning 20% APY on their UST. They start thinking, this was supposed to be a no-risk asset and it's looking a little hairy, so let me just take it out, see how the dust settles, and maybe I'll get back in later. So now you've got all this sell pressure on UST, which creates more sell pressure on Luna, which creates more sell pressure on UST, and it's kind of a cascading effect. And then once you drop too far below that peg, it's just hard for people to buy back in. So now you'll get two different stories on what happened from here. Some people will say it just kept cascading from there. Other people will say there was something more nefarious going on. There are rumors swirling that Citadel, BlackRock, took out a large loan in Bitcoin and swapped 25,000 Bitcoins for UST. Then went to Do Kwon of Luna and said they wanted to swap even more, and they wanted to do it off market, and they would swap it at a discount if they could do it off market. So Do Kwon decided that was okay. He went and temporarily had to lower the liquidity of UST to do that. There were also some other new things coming to the protocol around the same time that lowered the liquidity of UST. So UST was vulnerable for a very short window. And that's when Citadel and BlackRock allegedly just sold all their Bitcoin, all their UST, tanked the price of both, and now the cascading effect is amplified by 100. The price of UST has tanked. Everybody's lost confidence in it. The price of Luna has just absolutely tanked. Even with UST at 20, 30, 40, 50 cents, no one wants 2-for-1 Luna when Luna is dropping 60% every 10 minutes or less, before they could even swap it out. So Luna at its height, well over $100, maybe $115, I believe, at its height, all the way down this morning to around a penny, right? So getting 2-for-1 Luna at $50 isn't very helpful when Luna is $10 by the time you're ready to swap it for something else. You're still losing a ton of money. So that's kind of where we are with that. That's how that whole house of cards fell down. And a lot of people have lost confidence in the crypto market. We've seen the whole crypto market. I mean, that didn't have a ton to do with a lot of these other coins that are way down. You've seen Do Kwon of Luna. They've tried to reestablish the peg. They liquidated all of their Bitcoin and tried to add liquidity to Luna or to UST. Got it all the way back up to 92 cents, but couldn't quite get it across the finish line. People took that as an exit on their UST. They were now not confident in it anymore, and it just fell back apart again. So the crypto market as a whole is taking a huge beating from this, because people were thinking to themselves, this was one of the best projects in crypto, a lot of people thought, and it went almost to zero. Luna's a penny in 24 hours. So what could happen to my stuff? So a lot of people are running for the hills right now. We're already in a risk-off environment, so there are a million reasons for people to exit. And people are having discussions. Is this the end of crypto? Can we not trust it anymore? If one of the most trusted, safe projects, because UST is supposed to be a stable coin, right? This is what responsible people have their money in because they want to wait out the volatility, and this is supposed to be the safe thing. You've seen a million videos on Anchor Protocol, the safe 20% savings, which I always, nothing in crypto is safe right now. I know a lot of people are probably gonna rush yield nodes or some other project like that, but that could do the same thing. So you still want if you want to be in them, be in them. I am still in a lot of them, but you just need to know that even on the safe projects, you can, they can go to zero. So all these videos you see, how to retire passively on crypto, those are bullshit. Okay, do not listen to those. You're putting yourself, quitting your job to go into living on passive crypto income. That could go to zero tomorrow. Remember, a lot of these videos are, put 80% of it in Anchor protocol. That's the safe thing. And 10% in DGen, 10% in yield nodes or something else. All the, this is the safe thing. There is no safe. There is nothing you should go all in on and risk your ability to pay your mortgage on. So how does that relate to the future of crypto? A lot of people have lost confidence. Now, this was the safe thing and it collapsed. So is crypto just not worth being involved in? And I don't think that this is anywhere near the end of crypto. I think this is presenting a long-term buying opportunity. Obviously not financial advice. I would never give actual financial advice in any market, much less the crypto market with all the risk involved. But I'm using this as an opportunity to get into some projects that I thought were too high a while ago. I, just like everyone else, have taken some major hits on this. But I don't think this is, Bitcoin is working on its way out now because the markets have lost faith in it. And one of the reasons I say that is there's no market that is, no investment that is safe. They all have varying degrees of risk to them. You look at the stock market. I mean, we had the .com crash, right? That's a stock market reliable that had its periods where it tanked and when people lost confidence in it. COVID, obviously, that was a bit of a black swan event. I'm not really counting that. Even right now, there are these growth and tech companies that are down 90% in a month. $60 billion companies that are down 90% in a month. That's not supposed to happen. A $60 billion company is supposed to be safer than that. And you can say, well, Ryan, all right, that's, if you're YOLOing into upstart AI lending at $350 a share or whatever it was at its peak, you're not making a safe, risk-free stock. You're speculating in the stock market. You're taking on known risk. It's a risky stock. Versus Anchor Protocol is supposed to be the gold standard for safely earning money in crypto. So you're comparing risky versus not risky. But to that, I would say what is the most risk-free, stable, long-term asset what is the most risk-free asset class in anything? It's real estate, right? It always goes up eventually. It's totally safe. But we still, not even that long ago, had a major crash in real estate where tens of thousands of people, if not more, went bankrupt, foreclosed on their homes, a lot more foreclosed on their homes. So, and that's supposed to be the safest asset class altogether, right? So just because one of the safe spaces in crypto got wiped, potentially, which I think it probably has, if we're talking about Luna specifically, I don't think there's any coming back from this. But that's no different than a single stock, going to zero. That happens all the time. Crypto as a whole, I think it's here to stay still. Again, this is not financial advice, but I'm still averaging my way in cautiously. I think 5 years from now, like every crypto cycle before it, we'll all be glad we bought when we did. And I don't think people will be buying pizzas for 10 Bitcoins ever again, but you never know. So with that said, to prove that I'm not always just bringing you the bad news, I am working on another video right now. I'm going to tease a little bit, which explains how I made $1 million in 2021. A lot of that is unrealized gains that I haven't cashed in on yet. About $100,000 cash. The rest of that is unrealized. I haven't decided to cash in on it yet, but that's going to be on a separate channel. I'm working on that video now, trying to up the production quality a little bit with the editing and whatnot, so it's taken a while. But what I'll do is I'm going to make another video on this channel about Strong Block. I've got some new information I want to share there, and then that'll release after the video on my new channel, and I'll link to it there. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped you out. I hope we've all learned a little something from this that can make us smarter in the future.